In other news, commuters on the upcoming Johor Bahru-Singapore rapid transit system will be able to clear immigration just once when new laws are passed. The Cross-Border Railways Border Control Co-location Bill paves the way for immigration officers to be stationed at either country to ease checks. Journeys between the two stations are expected to take about 5 minutes. Aslam Shah with more.
For the hundreds of thousands who travel between Singapore and Johor Bahru every day, this bill will simplify the way they commute. When the RTS Link opens in less than a year, it will carry up to 10,000 passengers in each direction per hour. Now, the biggest change is this: you only need to clear immigration once. Instead of going through checks on both sides, travellers complete both Singapore and Malaysia immigration before they board the train. When you arrive at your destination, you're good to go. And this is possible because officers from both countries are stationed at each end. For example, Malaysian officers will be at Woodlands North, while Singapore officers will be at Bukit Chaga. And these areas allow officers to carry out immigration and security checks for cross-border travellers, and they are protected under local laws. Now, Singapore laws will continue to apply at all times within Singapore borders. Malaysian officers can conduct checks for contraband items, for example, and should they detect anything that breaks Singapore laws, they must still hand this over to Singapore authorities. Any enforcement action, like an arrest for example, will be carried out by Singapore officers. If anything happens on the train, like a fight for example, both countries will have to deal with it, and the country the train is headed to will take the lead. So what if there is an emergency? Well, both sides can respond, but they have to work together to resolve the issue. As officers carry out their duties, safeguards are in place to protect the data of commuters. Now, this bill is expected to be debated in May before being passed into law and implemented in June. And if passed, this will provide the legal framework needed to get the RTS running and make cross-border travel smoother for commuters.
Referencing cross-border models elsewhere, one expert points to a similar arrangement between the United States and Canada, where foreign officers operate under the host country's laws and cannot act independently. He also emphasizes the importance of having clear frameworks in place to manage incidents quickly, as situations on trains can be complex and time-sensitive.
If something happens, it's very important that at least one side is authorized to immediately take action, rather than one side calling the other and say, hey, you know, this is an incident, and by the time they relay all this information, there will be additional delay. So I think it's good that both sides are laying out these issues, but it also means that both sides have the responsibility now to constantly monitor for certain aspects of operations, which is very good.